Greg bounced back in a pretty big way. Can you just kind of go through what the week leading into the Browns game was like after some struggle?
I mean, I think that, that's what you get out of veteran, right? And that's why I was saying last week that, I think sometimes that just like any other position, I say it all the time, people have bad games once in a while and they want a couple plays that they want back. And Greg's a veteran player, has been in this league a long time. He's been a professional in this league. And when you're a professional and you work hard enough and things like that, you move on from mistakes and you have a short-term memory. And I was proud of the way he kicked and bounced back from the week. And I thought he did a great job in the game.
Your tenure here, you've kind of had probably I think an abundance of young guys at the kicker position, and now like the true wily old vet. Do you have a preference? Like, is there one that you prefer, the youth or the veteran?
Whoever makes them. No, I really don't. I think there's something to be said about having a veteran kicker, but there's also, guys that are young and up and coming guys that you've seen in the last 3-4 years come out and things like that. Greg has done every single thing that we've asked him to do, and he's been the ultimate pro, and he's fit in this room. I think he's done a really good job. And the way to see, like I said, to see how he bounced back the other day, I thought it was really, really good.
What about Braden's bounce back?
I mean, you can't say enough either about him. Like I said, he was battling the back issue in the first game that we talked about, and to see him bounce back like that and have 2 inside the 10 and obviously have the throw and have the onside, and I thought he punted really well too. So, I said it all the time, and I'll say it again. I think he's one of the most talented guys on this team. He can do a lot of stuff. He really can.
How often do you practice the outside?
A ton. Well, I mean, that's we have a bunch of time over there, so we work on all kinds of stuff, and different kicks and different ways to do things, and we practice it all the time, and I think his ability to do multiple things is really good to have.
When they changed the onside kick rule and made it kind of significantly harder, because you've seen the percentage of them recover. I mean, when did you kind of start getting to work on how to kick it like he did on that particular onside attempt? I mean, when did that, was that something you've always had in your book?
We've always had. I mean, like I said, there's a bunch of different kicks that you practice all the time, whether that's all your onside kicks, whether that's your after safety kicks, whether that's after your penalty kicks. There's so many different situations that we practice all the time, and that's when we're over here by ourselves and stuff. That's all those situations that usually we practice, but we practice a bunch on that kind of stuff, and his ability to do stuff with the ball in his hand, and throw and onsides and kickoff and hold and everything. He's a really valuable member of this team.
What did you say to them when they called timeout before that kick?
When they called timeout?
Timeout before the onside.
I said, I can't tell you what I said there.
Did that change anything you were doing, or
No.
is there an advantage?
No, I saw what I wanted to see, and I thought we had an advantage there, and it, fortunately for us, it worked out. And with the new rules, it does make it really tough, and to defend those kicks now, because you have one more guy out of the box and you can't get them all blocked up. So you prepare as much as you can and stuff like that. But sometimes those things happen, and you try to put the fire out and everything as best you can in those situations, right?
How important is it for everybody to kind of stay, like, not go ball chasing there, stay on their assignment, and how much did that contribute to the success of that play?
I think it's huge, because every guy has a job, and you don't go do somebody else's job. And I think we saw, like, on the one kickoff that we had, for example, that we let out, I think the 35 or whatever it was, 40-yard line. I mean, trying to do somebody else's job, just do your job and things work out, and especially with as many young guys as we have, and they're getting better and better every week. And I think that certainly we did some good things, and certainly there's some things that I'd like to get back and do a lot better.
Along those lines, too, how important was Will Parks in that?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, he did exactly, what he was told to do, and for him to jar that loose of, right at the same time that he tried to pick up the ball, and that, it was awesome. And that's why you put him in a situation like that, because he's going to do what you tell him to do, and you got to hand it to all the guys that we always talk about in this room playing harder for longer, and we want to be the hardest, playing toughest team in this league, and that's our standard and how we try to teach them and how they try to play, and I think that was a really good example of guys just playing until the whistle, and I think that's why they were successful last week.
With the, obviously another key special teams play was the other team missing an extra point in terms of the point differential. I want to ask you, just because in the first game you had an issue with that too, your unit, why Cade York's a big-time kicker and you have a big-time kicker, why, since they moved it back, are there more misses? Because it looks like a chip shot field goal to the layman out there, but there were a lot of missed extra points.
Yeah, I mean, I think that guys, whether it's the weather, there's wind always in stadiums and things like that. It did move it back, so it does make it more difficult. But your percentages go down significantly as you back up, obviously. And I mean, I think 50 plus yards or something like that. It's you want a guy that's 55% or over, or 50% or over. I mean, so the percentages go up as you get closer, and why they're missing them, I don't know. But I think that definitely he felt pressure from Eccles off the edge. I think Eccles did a heck of a job there, and the kid missed a kick, and fortunately for us, he did.
It had been a few years since you tried a fake punt. Was that, how far in advance was that called? Like, on the field, or
How much have we practiced that?
Well, just like when you actually made the call, like right before it happened, or would you go into the game saying, we saw something that...
No, it's. I mean, you have every coordinator in this league has multiple fakes up every game. They really do, and so, it's just a matter of trying to get the right situation and the right time in the game, and the score has to be right and things like that. So you're looking. There's a lot of variables that go into that kind of stuff, and you try to take advantage of the situations that you're given.
You mentioned the looks, like for the fake, like having the look. So is that one where when Braden's back, he looks across and says, like, okay, like, does he basically have a punt or a throw option there, or do you see something to say, like, no, we're running a punt?
No, it's on unless we call it off.
Okay.
So he can check out of it and stuff like that, and that's, I think that's the majority of the fakes that you have in this league. If we don't get a specific look or something we see, then we'll check out of them and we'll kick the ball or whatever. A lot of teams do that a ton.
Do you ever worry? This might be a silly question. Do you ever worry that like he'll get amped up and be like, I'm not checking out of this at all. I want to throw the ball.
No, you don't worry about that. I don't think. I think he knows the wrath that would come down. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm only kidding. But no, I think that you practice it so much that you hope something like that doesn't happen. But you do see that occasionally. Sometimes it happens, and fortunately, it worked out for us.
With Michael Clemens, he's kind of an unusual kick cover guy, 6'5", 270. Doesn't necessarily break down in space like other guys. What is the thinking in having him out there? What is his role exactly?
Well, thinking is I wouldn't want to block him if I had to block him, and that's kind of the thinking there. And you put him in positions to where he's going to have little guys trying to block him, and that's not a very good matchup. And that's kind of why I put him there. And there's a lot that goes into that as well. He may be aligned in different areas this year, but a lot of that's kind of schematically what I want to do. But it all comes down to, do you have like an enforcer kind of a guy? And people use them all over in the league. You'll see it this week, you'll see it next week, you'll see it everywhere, where they have a real tough guy to double team and stuff like that, and those are really important positions. And if you can put a guy there that demands a double team all the time, then it frees up people on the inside.
Not to be too technical about this, but I mean, basically, you could have that, and I mean, in terms of the fake, I'm saying it could be on based on down, distance, time in the game, situations, and then you can call it off based off of
Looks.
like personnel,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. If they change their looks that they haven't been in and things like that, if it's not something that we feel like there's a really high percentage, you can't risk a possession, right? As far as making a mistake right there instead of taking the field position, right?